All right, guys, mic check 1, mic check 2. If you are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people some time to tune in. I hope you had an awesome day in the markets, and I hope you had an awesome day in life. Let me go ahead and get us going. So, as you can see, we don't have like up on the screen because I didn't update the tickers. So I'm about to do that right now. Matter of fact, let's get a couple of these things set up first. Let's go ahead and launch Social Stream Ninja. Make sure that's going. Then we're going to share the chat. Okay, that's not loud enough. So let's switch that over and get us good with that. Let's try it again. Yeah, let me turn that up. I don't care if it's too loud. I'd rather hear it than miss it. Okay, there we go. So we're good with the Social Stream Ninja. Let me delete these. All right, now let's just go ahead. Not just go ahead, but let's share the stream over on Facebook. So let's go there. I'm already signed into that. I just need to refresh this page. And then we can get these ready to go. So we go to share. We are live. We are live. Cool. So we got that shared over on Facebook. Come on, pop up the notification. I'll leave that. Now let's get our tickers for tonight. So earnings. Let's get that. So we got Apple. Okay. And nope. I'm gonna update these where you guys don't have to see it. That way I can leave that there. That's a way. That's a way we can get this done and be a little bit more professional about it. That way I don't spoil it for you. If you're looking forward to finding out who the gainers and the losers are, and I done messed around and showed you updating the tickers. So we're gonna change that right now. So we got that analyzed, okay. So I'm about to update these and then we can start the show, guys. I just gotta update these. I didn't have them ready, unfortunately, but we're gonna get it. So we got everything for the earnings done. Now I need to do the losers. The loser. All right, let me see who that was. I know who that was. They're sharing the stream over on Facebook. Appreciate you, sis. I know that's you. It should be you. So let me cut the phone off so that doesn't go off again. We got 1 minute, guys. I think we might be a little late starting tonight, but that's because I'm updating these tickers. I'm gonna go as fast as I can so we can go ahead and get started. All right, let's see. Man, I was tripping last night. Fair Isaac Corporation. I kept saying Fair Isaac Newton. Oh, man, I thought that was funny. All right, so we got that. Properties, okay, we got that. So that's the loser. Let me update the ticker for the gainer. And guys, we'll start the show. So this would be easy. I know this one off the top of my head. And I just need to update the company name. I think that's it. Let me double check. Yes, I just need to put a comma. Got it. Click OK. Okay, we're good there. We got the like up on the screen. We're live. It's 11 o'clock. Even with being behind on this, we were able to start on time. That's great. Let me put the ticker in for the company we covering tonight. All right, guys, we're good. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God, thank God, it is Friday, guys. It is Friday, and tonight we are taking a look at ticker AAPL. You might know them better as Apple. Apple Incorporated was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne, with the first office opening in Los Altos, California. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $4 trillion. Yes, that's T, trillion dollars. Apple is in the technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals industry in the information technology sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Apple's competitors are Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, Alphabet Incorporated, ticker GOOGL, and Dell Technologies Incorporated, ticker DELL. We're going to review Apple's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to the earnings highlights. So we go here, take that down, and go here. It did not. Oh, I know what's going on. See, just got to figure it out. That's all it is. We good. Don't panic. All right. Apple, ticker symbol AAPL, the $4.5 trillion company, reported its third quarter 2026 earnings on Thursday, July 30th. They have a 52-week high of $344.57, which took place on July 29th, and a 52-week low of $201.50 that occurred on August 1st last year, which is a trading range $143.07. And they closed today at $308.91. Apple earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $109.4 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $108.9 billion. And they beat on the bottom line as strong June quarter demand drove record sales in iPhone, Mac, and services. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of $1.89 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $2.02. Apple reported a GAAP net income of $29.8 billion, which is higher than the $23.4 billion net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 27.4%. So for the third fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 21.5% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management noted ongoing supply constraints and component cost inflation for quarter four. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $308.91 represents an increase of 53.31% in just under a year. So if someone invested $1,000 in August last year at that 52-week low of $201.50, they would be seeing a gain of $533.10. Woo! We did that. All right, now let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Here we go. Researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? Where we look. We search for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go to Apple's website. Here we go. All right, so let's go here. Bam, bam, bam. Guys, we're good. All right, now, being as so they're going to sell us everything they can, and I done already accidentally clicked on something. Let's back that up. Make sure we're zoomed in. We're going to scroll over this page and skim very briefly because everything we need to look at is on the bottom of the page. They're going to try to get you to buy something. iPhones, here they go. College sorted, MacBook Air, upgrade, iPad Air, Watch, Apple Store, trade-in, Apple Card, endless entertainment. And remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Are we close? Yeah, we almost at the bottom, guys. So here we go. Now, where are we going to click? Right here, guys. So about Apple, we're going to go to Apple Leadership, Career Opportunities, and Investors. All right, so let's start with Apple Leadership. Here we go. So executive profiles, got Tim Cook right there, the CEO. Want to browse over this, just slide, just keep going. Gotcha. Board of directors, they don't even have photos, do they? There's Tim Cook, the CEO. Oh, they're on board of directors as well. All right, so we got that. Didn't learn much about the company there except seeing who the leadership and directors were. So now let's move on to career opportunities. They might have the vision, values, mission stuff, all of that stuff we look for over here. So we found benefits. All right, let's scroll over this, and we found benefits. It's right up under life at Apple. So let's go. Join us, be you. Watch the film. All right, so there's a video here. I'm not going to play it, but remember, links to the website are down in the description for your convenience. This is where individual imaginations gather together, committing to the values that lead to great work. Here, you'll do more than just join something, you'll add something. Another video, work at Apple, join a team and inspire the work. Discover how you can make an impact. Gotcha. We aren't merely creating products, we're creating something magical for the person who uses it. Engineering manager, another video, watch the film. Life at Apple, join our community and help define it. Got it. At Apple, you can unapologetically be yourself and grow and thrive. Where is the mission statement? Where is the values? Okay, our values, here we go, are part of everything built here, including careers. Okay, so accessibility, education, environment, inclusion and diversity, and privacy, racial equity and justice, supply chain innovation. Got it. We're at the bottom of the page. So let's go up here. Let's go up here to life at Apple. And let's see if we can find, click on shared values and see if it tells us anything different. Okay, shared values. The values we share at Apple inspire the work we share with everyone. Okay, healthy respect for well-being, putting the personal in personalization, keeping it green and clean, off to a running start, inspiring minds by augmenting reality, looking ahead for Apple, looking out for all, bridging cultures with inspiration as a volunteer champion, helping people grow in their own direction, making products and careers even more accessible, rethinking a supply chain to reimagine recycling, connecting products with code, connecting people with privacy. Got it. All right, guys, here we are. Benefits. Let's go. Let's go to the benefits. We count on you and you can count on us. Apple is Apple because the world's most dedicated, passionate people make a difference in the lives of our customers. Got it. All right. We just reading. Where? Okay, so it looks like we just going to read the headlines. Here we go. So they go into detail about each different thing. So let's go. Feel good in body and mind. Feel good for your whole family. Feel good financially. Feel good when you grow. Feel good when you renew or recover. Feel good about giving. Feel good about receiving. I guess you're going to feel real good, huh? There are a lot more ways to feel good here. Got it. That's what I just realized, because you was just going on, Apple. All right, so we went through that. Now let's go to investors. All right, are we zoomed in? We're looking for the stock information, guys. And then we're about to go ahead and get to the charts shortly. So right here at the top, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Stock price. There we go. Let me click our values and see if that gives us anything different. Our values. We believe that business at its best serves the public good, empowers people around the world, and binds us together as never before. Okay, yeah, we had read this before. They just repeated it again a different way. So let's go to stock price right here at the top of the page. There's the stock price, guys, the net price change for today. Here is the stock chart they have available in other investor tools. Got it. So guys, we can move on. Let's go here. Bam, we already had the ticker up. Yeah, so let's talk about Apple's clients and partners. Apple does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include JP Morgan Chase, ticker symbol JPM, Bank of America, ticker BAC, and Capital One, ticker COF. Now, before we go to the charts, let's talk about this. Mobile limitations. Before we look at the charts, guys, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now, let's look at Apple on the charts. Let's go. So here we go. We got that. We got that. Put Apple's ticker back up. We're good. We already on Apple. Man, I'm so glad we on the charts and it's Friday. Let's get it. Woo. All right, guys. So we got Apple pulled up on the charts. We are looking at a 1 year daily chart. There we go. Take me off the screen and let's talk about this. So here's their 52-week low at $201.50. Here's their 52-week high of $344.57. Now let's go to a higher time frame. So now we are looking at a 10-year weekly chart. And this is 10 years because I can see 2016 right here. Here's their 10-year low of $25.63. Here's their 10-year high of $344.57, which is also the recent 52-week high. All right. So I added something on the charts to make this a lot easier on us. If you've been following along, I've pointed out to you that the bubbles that we need to look at the simple moving averages, if the closing price is really close to one of those levels, we will not be able to see it. And then I end up having to stretch the chart to try to get the bubbles to separate from one another, which I'm going to show you right now. But we're not going to have to do this again no more. But I want to show you. Look how far I have to separate this before the bubbles separate. All right, we had to do all of that. We won't have to do that no more. So what I did, I added labels to the charts now. So depending on the time frame we're looking at, so since we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart, right here, guys, this is a 9-week simple moving average label, and here's our 200-week simple moving average label. Based on the bars or the candles, that's going to be what the 9 is. So since these bars are weeks, that's a 9-week simple moving average and a 200-week simple moving average. So we don't have to worry about these bubbles no more, because I look at these, or we look at these, as potential support and resistance. So right now, Apple closed the week at $308.91. We can also see the close up here. And that was just above the 9-week simple moving average. So now we can see that a lot clearer with these labels over here. I said I was going to do that yesterday, and I did it when we got done with the live stream, okay? And we have enough labels, enough levels up here to cover where the price for Apple is right now. So let's go ahead and go to the lower time frame. So now we're back on the 1 year daily chart, and let's zoom in and start working on these technicals. And like I said before, depending on the bars or the candles that we're focused on, right now we are looking at daily candles. So now the labels converted to a 9-day simple moving average and a 200-day simple moving average. And I like to look at those as potential support and resistance. So being as so Apple gap down, even though today was a green candle, here is the gap. So here is, we're going to use the rectangle tool to identify this gap, and it's actually gapped down twice. So here was the recent gap between Thursday and today. So let's go ahead and get this put in here. So our gaps on our charts, we like to make them yellow. Going to extend this out to December 1st. Next month, we're going to start doing January 1st, but that's that. So that is the recent gap between Thursday and today. So Thursday and Friday, let's identify the top of the gap or the top of the window. So that's $329.59. The bottom of the gap is at $310.69. Now, the gap between Wednesday and Thursday, let's get that one. So let's make that yellow again, and let's extend that over to December 1st. Bam, we got that. Now let's put our price levels for the top of the gap, the bottom of the gap. So here's the bottom of the gap coming in at $334.75. The top of the gap, we have $337.35. Ooh, yeah, that's nasty up there. That's nasty. So we got the 52-week high at $344. All right, so that's what I'm seeing for potential resistance, including the 9-day simple moving average that's coming in at $329.54. And since these are spread out, we can easily see it over here for the bubble this time. And then the 200-day simple moving average is further down in the chart, but now we can see it right up here on the label. So that's at $277.96. Here's today's candle, and we have a few levels of potential support. So we have the psychological level of $300. Even though I got $300.27 there, I'm still going to show you that that's a psychological price level because it's a round number. Then we have $298.91. So we can really look at that like a zone, like a support zone. Then we had a small gap over here between June 8th and June 9th. I'm not going to highlight it, but I just wanted to point that out, move this up. And then we have a support zone down here. And now we can see the 200-day simple moving average is actually crossing through that support zone at $279.54 and $276.13. Got it. All right, now let's pull up our floating data box and let's get the stock quote for Apple. So cut that on, mouse over today's candle, and let's talk about it. So Apple opened today at $304.81. They had a high of $310.69. They had a low of $300, right on the nose. A close of $308.91, which was a trading range for the day of $10.69. Now, let's talk about the trading volume. Guys, Apple traded 132 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We are about to find out. We about to find out. So let's take this floating data box off the screen. Let's take me off the screen and let's look at the average trading volume for Apple in a daily trading session. Guys, they trade 51 million shares in a daily trading session, and they did 132 million shares today. Now, with earnings being announced after the market closed yesterday, I'm mousing over this so it'll pop up eventually. There we go. So earnings were announced yesterday after the market closed. So today would have been a reaction to that earnings news. So that's expected that the volume would increase today. And before the earnings were released yesterday, on this candle right here, Apple had 74.8 million shares traded on Thursday, which was above average as well. So we see that the volume is increasing heading up to earnings and just after earnings. So the market is responding to what was announced. All right. Now let's go over here and let's talk about the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was higher than 98.8% of those trading days volumes. To be exact, only 3 of those days had higher volume than today. Woo, we got it. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's go here, guys. So go there, there. Good. All right. Now, community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. And it takes $10 to become the first sponsor of tonight's show. So here's that. There's that. And now let's talk about this. The S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go back to the charts. So let's go there, take that down, go here, take that down, and pull up the SPY. Got it. All right, now Let's go over here to our symbol box and let's type in the SPY, SPY, bam. Take off these arrows. We still got arrows on here, guys. All right, so that's where, you know what, this is off. I can see that quickly. So let's go to time axis. This needs to be, or I like to have this at 30. It's slightly off. So that'll pull the candles over to the right. All right, let me take me off the screen. Let's talk about it. We are looking at a 1 year daily chart for the SPY. Here is their 52-week low of $619.29 and a 52-week high of $760.40. Okay, so we have that. Now let's put me back on the screen and let's zoom in, guys. Let's focus on the recent price action for the SPY. I'm so glad we have those labels there now. This is going to make it so much easier. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm saying that because it's still trading within that range that we've been talking about, guys. The SPY is still trading between that price support of $737.05 right here and that resistance at $749.88, which is also near that psychological price level of $750, guys. It's still doing it. So let me highlight that box real quick. Here we go. So the majority of the body of these candles in this recent time frame between, let's do this. If I do the trend line tool, it'll tell us exactly how many days this is. So let's undo that. This little dot I just put there. And then I'm going to open up the trend line tool. So here's the first candle body that peaked into that range, right? So if we connect that trend tool to here, we can find out how many days that was. So that's a matter of 84 days. So for the last 84 days, the majority of those candles or trading days, the bodies of those candles has been within this range. So I've seen a lot of people drawing this as a triangle and all of that. I'm seeing this as the current trend for the SPY is sideways. That's what I'm seeing. If it peaks out of the bottom or out of the top, it comes right back between that support and resistance of $749.88 and $737.05. And recently, so this candle right here, let's remove this tool. We don't need that now. Remove this. But this candle right here, so that was July 29th. That was when it really flushed out of it. But we can see the next day it opened just below the $737.05 and then closed not only back above that area of resistance. Now it was coming back to support. It was able to close back above the 9-day simple moving average. And then today it gapped up. But because the low came down, it closed the gap, but the open gapped up. And then it closed above the gap we had between July 7th and July 23rd. And it started to close. That's why that yellow is only to the high of this candle. So now that that's closed, we can actually change this gap. Okay, we can close it actually. So let's go ahead and remove that drawing because now we have regular trading hours that have closed that previous gap. Okay, and we already have a lot of levels on the SPY, so I don't want to bunch up the chart, but we need to keep an eye on previous gaps. Okay, so we got that, and now let's talk about the SMA, the simple moving average, on the weekly time frame. So let's remove this box. Let's just hide it for a minute, and let's go to the higher time frame. Hide it. Bam, go to the higher time frame. Here we go. So the 9-week simple moving average, guys, is at $742.67, and the 200-week simple moving average is at $547.82. Now going back on the lower time frame, the 9-day simple moving average is at $741.21, and the 200-day simple moving average is at $700.39. Now let's get the quote for the SPY. So let's go up to the setting, cut on the floating data box, and get this information for today for the SPY. Let me take this down because it's all over it. So let's just take that down. All right, so the SPY opened today at $744.68. They had a high of $748.90. They had a low of $737.68, and they closed today at $737.68. No, I just read some all types of wrong. Let's do this one more time. The SPY opened today at $744.68. Correct. They had a high of $748.90. Yes, they had a low of $737.68, and they closed today at $747.03, which was a trading range of $11.22. Got it. Now, guys, they traded, as far as the volume, they traded 62.4 million shares of this ETF today. Is that a big deal or a little deal? We're about to find out. So let's cut the floating data box off. Take me off the screen and let's go over here to our label. So the average trading volume for the SPY in a daily trading session, guys, is 71 million shares. Today they did 62 million, so that's below average. And we can see on Thursday they did 66 million. So that would have been this green candle right here. So we see the volume dropping or decreasing. They're both below average as the stock price is moving up. Okay, so we got that. Now let's put me back on the screen. Let's talk about the volume percentile, guys. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was only higher than 39.3% of those days. So to be exact, 99 of those days were below today's volume and 153 of those days were above. Okay, DA days above, DB days below. Got it. All right, now let's move on. Let's go here, here, take that down, go here. Got it. All right. Sector performance tracker. Time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they performed today. All right. So let's go back to the charts. Go there, take that down. Yeah. All right. So let's change the chart. Let's change the grid to sector performance. So here we go, guys. We got it set to 1 day. So we're going to talk about the SPY and all of the 11 sectors on how they perform today. So let's get to it. So the SPY is up, not down. Give me a second. The SPY is up 0.7% today. Energy is up 1%. Materials is down 2.3%. Industrials is up 0.8%. Consumer discretionary is up 3.3%. Consumer staples is down 0.5%. Healthcare is down 0.6%. Financials is down 0.1%. Information technology is down 0.2%. Communication services is up 1.6%. Utilities is down 0.7%. And real estate is down 0.5%. All right, now I'm going to open up my watch list over here on the left, and we do have this in descending order. So right here we have the percentage change at the top from greatest to the greatest loss. So we got the greatest gainers at the top, and then you read it from the bottom, the greatest loss. So the largest loss. All right, biggest, greatest, da, 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 da. All right, let's pull up our notes. So here we go. Bam. So here's what I got, guys. Here's the information about today that's slightly cut off. So let me drag this up a little. You can see that at the bottom. We got Friday. Yep, you got all three at the bottom. Okay, we got all three at the bottom. So let's talk about it. Friday, the 31st, our biggest gainer is consumer discretionary, up 3.3%. Second biggest gainer is communication services, up 1.6%. Third biggest gainer is energy, up 1%. Now, our biggest loser for today is materials. They're down 2.3%. Second biggest loser is utilities, down 0.7%. And then the third biggest loser is healthcare, down 0.6%. Got it. If you want the second decimal, guys, it's right up here for you. So over here, we have it rounded off. Now, let's go through this week sector by sector. So let's change the highlight to both. And now let's start going through the sector, starting from the top, communication services. So communication service was our third biggest gainer on Monday, third biggest gainer on Tuesday, number one loser on Thursday, and our number two gainer today. All right, so that's communication services. Consumer discretionary was our number two gainer on Monday, number three gainer on Thursday, and number one gainer today. Got it. Now let's look at consumer staples. Consumer staples was our number one gainer on Monday, number two gainer on Tuesday, number two gainer on Wednesday, number two loser on Thursday. Energy was our number one loser on Monday, number two loser on Tuesday, number one gainer on Wednesday, and number three gainer today. Now let's go to financials. Financials was our number three loser on Wednesday. Kind of quiet this week. Healthcare was our number one gainer on Tuesday, number three loser on Thursday, and number three loser today. Now, industrials, number three loser on Tuesday, number one loser on Wednesday, number two gainer on Thursday. Information technology, number three, a loser on Monday, number one, a loser on Tuesday, number two loser on Wednesday, and number one gainer on Thursday. Where did they perform today? So they were down 0.22%, 0.22% today. Okay, so they were red today. They just weren't at the top or the bottom of the percentage change. Now, our number materials, we're doing materials. Materials were our number one loser today. Real estate was our number three gainer on Wednesday. Now, I know you're like, but they lost. Almost all of them lost on Wednesday. They were the one that lost, the second one that lost the least. So the only sector that had gained out of the S&P 500 sectors was energy that day on Wednesday. So our biggest gainers were the companies that lost the least. That's why it's still showing up red. All right, so we want one more, utilities. So utilities was our number two loser on Monday and our number two loser on Friday. Guys, we're going to go over this to go over the week changes of each sector on Sunday for our weekly recap live. But that's what we got for the week, okay? So that's our sector performance. Let's move on. Let's go here. Take that down, go here. All right. Now, let's look at the biggest gainers and losers. Now, let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on the high note. Got it. All right, so let's go back to the charts. Go there, go here. We'll pull up the biggest loser once we get over there, guys. Let's change our grid to Pro Market Closed, collapse this, go over to Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go to the quote sub tab. We're already there. We have this in ascending order. So here we go, guys. The biggest loser for today, guys, is GoDaddy Incorporated. Ooh, guys, they lost 16.7% today. Their previous close was $99.33, and they closed today at $82.74. Let's pull up this calculator and do a hypothetical. Oh, I told y'all got to start giving me some different numbers. We've been using the same numbers. Let's use $1,500 today. So if somebody invested $1,500 and they lost, that's 16.7%. We negate that, hit the percentage change. They would have lost $250.50 of their $1,500 investment, okay? So we add the $1,500 back to it. They would be left with $1,249.50. All right, now let's select that, take that off the screen. And let's go over to the Analyze tab. Now we can see that GoDaddy is in the information technology sector. So we're going to see how that sector perform, how the industry that GoDaddy is inside of perform, and the sub industry. All right, so let's go over to the Market Watch tab and let's go over to the Visualize sub tab. So here we are. We have the S&P 500 watch list pulled up as a heat map. Let's take me off the screen. Here's the information technology sector, and we're looking for GoDaddy. GoDaddy, I believe they have a small market cap, so it's going to be really hard to see, but I see where they are. So we are in the information technology sector, and they are in the IT services industry. Here they are right here. So it's only two companies that lost inside of this industry today. The sub industry for GoDaddy is internet services and infrastructure, okay? So let me point this out. We're in the information technology sector, we're in the IT services industry, and then we're in the internet services and infrastructure sub industry. I didn't put that arrow over it. That's why I'm like, where am I gonna put this third arrow? But it's this one, all right? It's the highlighted blue. So we got it. All right. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab. Now, before we go to GoDaddy's website, let's talk about the company profile. So here's the company name. Here's a link to their website. Link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and then go visit the website. So GoDaddy Incorporated engages in the design and development of cloud-based products in the United States and internationally. Boom, got it. Put me back on the screen, take that down, and let's go to their website. So it's going to be this one. Got it. Blow that up. Make sure we're zoomed in. We're good. We got the ticker there, the right disclaimer. Yeah, guys, we good. All right. Domains. They got the domains, free website, zero sweat, AI website builder, things like that. And here go another ad. Your idea deserves a name. Claim your.com for only $4.99, 60% off. Got it. What's first up for your business? Goggins Goggles. Is that named after David Goggins? I don't know. Power your future with GoDaddy AI. Create a logo that sets you apart. Oh, no. Phone, boy, technology be listening to you. They need to mind their business. Phone just trying to answer. I ain't ask you. Phone start answering the question I ain't asking. Build your site at the speed of AI. Grab attention and keep it. Templates designed to sell. Got it. Is that Arrow? Arrow every day, all the way. Got it. Everyone works with GoDaddy. We offer a huge selection of domains. We're going to be reading all day. With the right domain, you're on your way. Got it. GoDaddy guides. We love to help. Seriously, millions of customers rely on our domains and web hosting to get their ideas online. All right, we're at the bottom of the page. Finally. All right, I see where we need to go. So let me take me off the screen right over here, guys. We're going to go to About Us. We're going to go to Careers, and we're going to go to Investor Relations. So let's go to About Us. Vision, mission, values, purpose. Let's see what we can find. Who we are. Got it. Let's zoom in. It looked like they zoomed us out, and they sure did. So there we go. We're zoomed back in. They also have other About Us, careers. Looks like we don't need to go nowhere else now. About Us takes us everywhere we need to go. So we're a trusted growth partner to millions of entrepreneurs. Got it. GoDaddy does more than sell domains. We help millions of small businesses globally accelerate their growth, giving entrepreneurs confidence at every stage of their business journey. Who we are, our purpose, make opportunity more inclusive for all. Our strategy, everyday entrepreneurs trust their ideas with us. What we do at GoDaddy, we partner with our customers at every point on the entrepreneur's wheel, securing a domain, building a website presence, building a web presence, enabling payments, and everything in between. They say they're going to help you. Another video. Remember, links to this website is down in the description for your convenience. Here are some stats about the company, what we've done. These humble brag numbers, never heard of that word before. I'm going to definitely look that up. Prove what can be done by joining forces and owning outcomes. Got it. So here's the leadership team, latest news. This is a long scroll. Helping entrepreneur comes naturally. Always here, always friendly, resource library, AI prompt library, become part of GoDaddy. Got it. So we're down at the bottom of the page. We're going to go to careers, take me off the screen so you can see it. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah. All right, here we go. Be part of our growth. Did they zoom us out? They did it again. See, I'll be on it. I got it. I'm like, no, that's too small. Benefits, bring your talent and propel your career. I just yelled benefits. That's what we're looking for. We're the world's largest world services platform. I believe it. You're more than just your day job. Got it. We get it. You're more than just a job title. Innovations, welcome. Customer care, 24/7 technical. As a GoDaddy engineer, you'll build the technology that launches people's dreams. Corporate. Emerging talent, join our team and shape your future. Let's get in touch. Join our talent community. Guys, I ain't seen nothing about benefits. So what I'm going to do, browse right back up to the top of the page. Maybe it was something that I missed. Home, teams, culture. Let's try candidate resources. Okay, let's try that. Oh, they give you a drop down so we can. No, the other one gave us a drop down. Don't do that. Look at all this stuff popping up. They like, gotcha. I don't want all that. Oh, did that take me back? Nope. I have to go back up here. Oh, they just popped up in a whole nother window. Yeah. Culture, teams. Blow this back up. I'm trying to find the benefits, guys. That's what I'm trying to do. Culture, is it under there? Look, pop took us somewhere else. Close that out. All right, I'm gonna try one more of these, and if I can't find it, we're gonna go ahead and go to investor relations. Global locations for about us. Candidate. All right, I'm done. Investor relations. So we go in there. Yep, we ain't see nothing about no benefits. So investor relations, there we go. Did they zoom us out? Let's see. We're good. 150. It's pretty small. All right. Stock information. Got it. Put me back on the screen. Okay, we're going to scroll over this page, guys, and then we're going to go right here to where it says stock information. Okay, I'm almost leaned all out of the shot. Our customers inspire us. Some more stats about the company. I believe those were the same stats we saw earlier. All right, yeah, we're good. Let's go back to the top. Here we go. Investor relations, stock information. Got it. Stock info, stock quote. Here's the chart, historical price lookup, and other tools that they have for investors on their website. All right, guys, we got it. So let's move on. Let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. Go there. We have that. Cool. All right. GoDaddy Incorporated, ticker GDDY. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage domain registration and web hosting services across the domain management, cloud infrastructure, and digital commerce markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete domain registration options, including domain names and DNS management for small businesses. Number two, scalable web hosting products, including WordPress hosting, VPS, and dedicated servers for entrepreneurs. And number three, optimized digital business systems tailored for web security, email marketing, and payment processing. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Microsoft, ticker MSFT, Amazon, ticker AMZN, and PayPal, ticker PYPL. Now, let's look at GoDaddy on the charts. So we go there, we're good. All right, now charts. All right. So guys, we got GoDaddy pulled up. We're looking at a 1-year daily chart. They have a 52-week high of $161.11. They have a 52-week low of $71.59. And it looks like they had earnings yesterday, and they were announced after the market closed. So that explains why we see a spike in volume today. So it looks like the market was responding to the earnings that were announced after the market closed yesterday. So we got that. Now let's go to the higher time frame. So now let me take me off the screen. We are looking at a 10-year weekly chart. First thing I want to do is make sure this goes back to 2016, and I can see that right here behind these icons. Here is their 10-year low of $28.13. Here's their 10-year high of $216. Ooh, look like they've been on a downtrend, guys, since the beginning of 2025 and the end of 2024. Looks like it's been consolidating, moving sideways this year, 2025. That's just a quick peek. But now that the price has come back down within this range, guys, it looks like we might have some historical data. We're going to use these crosshairs. Yeah. So what price? It looks like around 90 bucks. $90. Bring that down just a little bit more to try to catch. Looks like $88.45, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that price level there. $88.45, somewhere close up in there. So $87.92. So I use that because I'm seeing a lot of wicks and closes touch that price level up in here. I know that's pretty small, guys, but that's what I'm seeing. And then we see it come close, like right up in here and in there. So I'm seeing that as long-term support at $87.92. Now, while we're here, this looks like a tight range too. So if I was to put one more price level here, let's pull back up our crosshairs. That looks pretty good. So that's around $70. So you got $69.80 on a higher time frame as well. We're going to put those two there. Now let's talk about our 200-week and 9-week simple moving average, guys. They're right here. So our 9-week simple moving average is at $85.54, which is really close to the closing price. That's why you can't see that bubble, and I'm glad we have these labels. Here's our 200-week simple moving average at $119.39. Okay. Now let's go back down to our lower time frame. So now we're back on the 1-year daily chart. Let's zoom in over here. And now we can see, let's zoom out. Before we zoom in, we can see how our higher time frame are responding as day candles now to those price levels that we put on the chart. You had a gap down here as well. So what days were that? That was February 24th and February 25th. There was a gap down back here. And then we have a recent 52-week low at $71.59. So the long-term price level is just below that, coming in at $69.80. Okay, so let's start doing our technicals. Let's zoom in. Bam, we got that. First thing I'm doing that's standing out to me, let's go ahead and talk about the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. The 9-day simple moving average is at $94.33. Our 200-day simple moving average is at $100.59. So we have that out of the way. Let's start doing our technicals. So we're going to use the rectangle tool and get Thursday's low, today's high, extend this over to December 1st. Bam, December 1st, got it. Highlighted yellow, that's how we identify our gaps, at least on this channel. That's the high of the gap, that's the low of the gap. This looks like an evening star pattern to me after this uptrend, and then coming right in at that area of resistance and this area of support that could have been seen as a bearish indication, especially with this not being able to get above that price level before. We see it and respect it as support and resistance, and that was one of the levels that we got from the higher time frame, and we can see how it's responding to it on the days. We got that, no, not the higher time frame, we got that from the gap. So we can see how it was responding to that price level before. Okay. All right. So we have that. We have some support here. We have some resistance. I think we're pretty much done with this, guys. Pretty much done. Because with this gap down, it has to get above these levels. And then it's really close to that 52-week low of $71.59 compared to where. So here's the close for today. It's like midway. It's like in the middle between that 52-week low and the 200-day simple moving average. All right, let's go ahead and get our stock quote for GoDaddy so we can go ahead and talk about the volume. So cut the floating data box on. Let's talk about it. So GoDaddy opened today at $76.83. They had a high of $84.62. They had a low of $73.10, and they closed today at $82.74. Which was a trading range of $11.52. And the trading volume, guys, they traded 6.6 million shares of this stock today. Now, I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, compared to what we usually see, didn't we just see something that was like over 130 million? And this stock is responding to earnings, and they only did 6.6. So we got to see what the average trading volume is for GoDaddy. So let's cut the floating data box off. Take me off the screen and let's go look. So the average trading volume for GoDaddy in a daily trading session, guys, is 2 million shares. Today they did 6.6. So they did more than 3 times. Well, they did 3 times more than what they usually do in a daily trading session. And then on Thursday, that red candle right here, which I think completed that evening star pattern, which would be bearish coming in after this uptrend. They did 1.9 million shares on Thursday. Okay. So we definitely saw an increase in volume, and Thursday was below average. All right. So we got that. Put me back on the screen. Let's talk about the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days volumes, guys, today's volume was higher than 99.2% of those trading days volumes. To be exact, only 2 of those days had higher volume than today. We got it. So we can go ahead and move on, guys. Actually, something else just caught my eye. Let me take me off the screen before we move on. I'm seeing this as resistance, guys. So this could explain why it stopped right here. If we look back here, you see how many of these day candles are flat right here in this area? You have a few day candles that were having a hard time getting above that $106.02. And that's where it tested on Wednesday. And that was the peak of that evening star pattern, okay? So this could have been looked at back here on the technicals as expecting that to be potential resistance, okay? So we got that. Put me back on the screen. Yeah, now we're going to talk about the biggest gainer for today. So let's go up here to the Market Watch tab. Let's take this heat map back to the beginning. Go over to the quote sub tab. Put this in descending order. All right, guys. It's going to be easy. All right, the biggest gainer for today, guys, is Amazon. Ticker AMZN. And guess what? We just covered Amazon yesterday because we covered them for earnings. And wouldn't you know it, that was mentioned after market. The earnings were after market, so they were responding to those earnings today. And wouldn't you know it, guys, they had a 15.32% gain today. Previous close was $235.50, and they closed today at $271.58. Let's do a hypothetical, pull the calculator up. Let's clear this out. And we were using $1,500, I believe. So if somebody got that 15.32% gain, that would have gained $229.80. Add that to their $1,500 principal. Total investment would have grown to $1,729.80. All right. Bada boom, bada bing. We got it. All right. Let's take this off. Let's select Amazon. And now let's go over to the Analyze tab. And here we go. So Amazon is in the consumer discretionary sector. So we're going to see how that industry that Amazon is inside of performed, and the sub industry as well as that sector, of course. So let's go ahead and go to the Market Watch tab, go to the Visualize sub tab, and now we are looking for consumer discretionary. Here we go. Take me off the screen. And we can see that Amazon is inside of the broad line retail industry. And there's only two companies in here, Amazon and eBay. eBay is so small compared to their market cap. Compared to Amazon, is very tiny. eBay is right here, that dark green off to the side. So they only gained 0.43% today. We can see that at the top, this box up here, but you can barely see them. Okay, but that's eBay over there. So it's only two companies inside of this industry. And if we were to click on it again, the sub industry is also broadline retail, guys. So I'm gonna go zoom out to consumer discretionary. So this is what we have as far as this sector. I'm seeing more red than green. It was just that Amazon and Tesla takes up so much market cap space. It looks like a lot of green, but when we look at the individual companies, it's way more red than green. And just for kicks and giggles, guys, I want to show you something that I had learned recently. Let me see. So if we go up here and we change heat map to index watch, right here where it says watch list, I have a watch list where I can pull up the companies. Take me off the screen, pull up the companies that is in the consumer discretionary sector. And now when I do this, it'll tell me how many of those companies are advancing, declining. So I could look at it that way. So here's Amazon. Remember, they were the brightest green. So this breaks it down for us. It tells us how many companies are in that watch list. We got 46 of them. So we can mouse over it going this way, or you can mouse over it up here, and it shows you in both places, guys. It's really cool. And over here, it gives you data as well. I don't know if you watch that. You can see how it's moving. So that's a cool tool I stumbled on today. All right. So go ahead and have fun. Try that out. Now let's go back over here to the Analyze tab. Take me back off the screen. Well, I don't need to be there. All right. So before we go to Amazon's website, we're looking at the company profile. Here we go. Amazon.com Incorporated, official company name. Here's their website link. Also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read this. Amazon.com Incorporated engages in the retail sale of consumer products, advertising, and subscription service through online and physical stores in North America and internationally. Got it. So put me back on the screen. Take this down, go to their website. That's going to be right here. Got that, the sponsor. Yeah, we good. We got everything. All right, so we looked at the yesterday, guys. Everything we need going to be at the bottom of the page. You know, Amazon going to try to make you buy everything, so we can just get the scrolling. Let's just get the scrolling. Cameras, shoes, they even sell pop, paper plates, suitcases, you name it. All right, we down at the bottom. So here we go, guys. Get to know us. So we're going to go to careers. We're going to go to about Amazon, and we're going to go to investor relations. So they have everything we need right there. Let's start with about Amazon. Okay, did they zoom us out? I have no idea. No, we're good. All right, so Amazon.com announced its second quarter results. Got it. So what was that? Innovation in AI, Prime shopping and benefits, life at Amazon, Amazon news from around the world, featured stories. Got it. So we threw all of that about us. So let's talk about what we do. So let's go there real quick. So Amazon stores, Amazon web services, artificial intelligence, AI, Amazon's custom chips. I didn't know they had custom chips. Entertainment, devices, and Alexa operations. Amazon ranks number 3 on Fortune's World Most Admired Companies list. Got it. Latest news about what we do. More from Amazon. Got it. All right, so we're down at the bottom. Can we see? No. All right, so we're going to go right here to where it says, go back to the main page. Careers. Bam. Zoom us in. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Reject all. Reject all. Stop giving me all them cookies. All right. Use world-class resources, make a real-world impact. Guys, we're looking for the benefits. Student opportunities, hourly jobs, AI careers. Find your role, teams, job categories, locations. Debbie owns innovation end-to-end. Impact the future today. I honestly don't remember if we even found the benefits yesterday. Let's click this and see what we can find. Benefits. Thank gosh. There we go, guys. Right here. Benefits under resources. So we go to benefits, benefits and stock. Did they zoom us out? No, they didn't. So we're good. Put me back on the screen. The perks of being an Amazon employee doesn't stop at collaborating with great people on exciting and innovative projects. I'm stopping there. Coverage, growth, and ownership. Remember, links to the website are down in the description for your convenience. And please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Stay healthy and financially fit. Be ready for the unexpected. Take time for you when you need it. Grow professionally. Get support when life gets complicated. Take ownership. Got it. All right, so we went through that. We talked about the benefits. Now we're going to investor relations. I don't see it right here. So let's go back to the main page. There we go. So investor relations, got it. Yeah. All right, there's the stock information. I think I remember this. Yesterday, we realized that they don't have a chart in other investor tools like the other websites had. So I do remember that. So we're not going to waste our time digging through that. And it's a short scroll, okay? And if we look over here, those are our options to click on. There's nothing about a stock quote and chart over here, okay? So let's go ahead and move on. Let's go here. We already have that up. We're good. So let's talk about what I found out about the company in my research. So Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage global e-commerce and cloud infrastructure across the retail, technology, and digital media markets, offering solutions such as, number 1, complete e-commerce options, including Prime delivery and digital storefronts for global consumers. Number 2, scalable cloud computing products, including AWS, EC2, and S3 for enterprise clients. And number 3, optimized digital media systems tailored for streaming, advertising, and global logistics. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Apple, ticker AAPL, Netflix, ticker NFLX, and Meta Platforms, ticker META. All of those companies use Amazon Web Services, okay? Just for notes. All right, now let's look at Amazon on the charts. Bam, bam. Put me back on the screen. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's go over here to the charts. Guys, this is going to be quick because we did most of the technicals yesterday. We're just going to have to incorporate what happened today. I'm looking at that huge gap, guys. I could just glance at a chart and certain stuff will just stand out to me now. So that was like, wow, yeah, that's a big gap up, guys. It's a big gap up. All right, I'm seeing a couple of things that's jumping out at me. All right, so what we're looking at Amazon on a 1-year daily chart. Here's their 52-week low of $196. Here's their 52-week high of $278.56. I don't know what that is, so let's close that out. I don't know what just popped up on my screen. All right, now we're gonna go down to go up to a higher time frame. Take me off the screen. Now we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart, and it does go back to 2016. It's right here, tucked up under these icons. Here's their 10-year low of $35.51. Here's the 10-year high of $278.56, which is also the 52-week high. Okay, so we got that. But before we move on from this higher time frame, let's get the 9-week simple moving average, which is right here. And here is the 200-week simple moving average, and that's also over here on our labels. So the 9-week simple moving average is $244.51. Our 200-week simple moving average is $179.35. Got it. Now let's go back to our lower time frame, go back to our 1-year daily chart. Put me back on the screen. Now this is something that stands out to me that we didn't talk about yesterday. Previous gaps and windows become support and resistance when it comes back to it. So some people think that once that gap is filled, that gap isn't significant anymore. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes previous gaps act as support and resistance. So if we look right here, you see how this is like just in the middle of nowhere because we don't have anything there. If we go ahead and we use the rectangle tool and we identify this gap right here between February 4th and February 5th, and we extend this over, I'm just going to put it out far enough so it'll be able to reach to the other candles. December 1st. You see how the bottom of that gap is where those candles found support. So if I put that price level there, that price level would have been $226.31. So those candles found support on that previous gap. That's what stood out to me. Now, in part of this big gap we see over here. So Amazon gaps around a lot. We see a gap here. We see a gap here. We see a gap here, here. I mean, Amazon is gappy, as we can see. It even gap now. It's gap now. So let's remove these two. I'm gonna leave the, I'll remove the gap, but I'll leave the lower price level of that gap since these two candles found support on it, because that seems really strong. All right, now let's focus on what we got going on now. Remember how I was saying is Amazon is gappy? So right here, guys, we had a gap on July 22nd to July 23rd. So the low of July 22nd and the high of July 23rd, we had a gap there. And then it started to be filled with this candle right here. So this was Thursday's high. It started to penetrate that gap. That's why we have two colors here. So the lighter color is part of the gap that started to be filled by the high of the candle on Thursday. And it had closed above the 200-day simple moving average on Thursday. That is not what I want. The 200 simple moving average on Thursday. This candle closed above it. We can see that right there with that dashed white line, but it didn't close above the 9-day simple moving average on that day. And the price level for the simple moving average for the 9 and the 200 is going to be different based on the day we're looking at. So that label for those price levels are based on where it is today. But yesterday, when I mouse over it, the price level for it is going to be right here. This is the price level of the 9 and the 200 simple day moving average for yesterday. You can see that it's slightly different. Actually, it's not slightly different. Let me mouse over it. If I mouse over it, it's different. When I click this button, did it change it? Yeah, it changed it. It's slightly. So here it is. This is what the simple moving average was yesterday for both of those. So that was for the 9. No, it keeps doing it, guys. I apologize. Just look at this label when I mouse over Thursday's candle. You can see that it's different. It says 236.95 and the 200 says 234.75. When I try to go up there, it changes it to today. Okay, so that's what we got for that. Now let's talk about this gap. I'm going to remove these recent gaps that we had over here. So let's edit properties. No. Let's remove these and let's highlight this gap that happened between Thursday and today. I'm going to remove some of these price levels. Is that a higher time frame? No, it looked like it's at the top of that gap. So we're going to remove this, remove that drawing. And I'm going to leave that one. I think we got that from the higher time frame. Let's go to our rectangle tool, connect it to Thursday's high and today's low. Edit properties. I'm going to extend this over to December 1st. Got it. Highlight it yellow to identify that that's a gap. Let's put this price level up here. So the top of that gap is at $262.01. The bottom of that gap is at $239.82. Got it. Now let's go up here. So we have our supports, guys, because the price is all the way up here. So we already have supports. Let's see what we have up here for resistance. I'm gonna pull this down, bring the chart over. Oh, guys, it's reaching the 52-week high. So yeah, it looks like here, I'm gonna make a zone. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna use the high of this candle and the high of this candle. We actually could have did, let me do this one more time. Let me show you what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the high of this candle and the high of this candle. So this is gonna be my resistance zone. And I'm gonna extend this over to December 1st. There we go. And see how it came just to that zone when I used the high of that candle there? And the high of that candle was close to the open of this red candle next to it. So what I like to do, I try to get my levels as close to open, highs, lows, and closes as possible. It doesn't matter which one of those it's on that bar or that candle, but that's what I'm trying to catch when I do a line, a price level, okay? So that's what I have there. Let's put the resistance, the top of that resistance zone. So that's what we have. Got it. So $274.75 is the top of that zone. The bottom of that zone is $273.32. And it looks like it tested that today. Okay. So that's what I have for Amazon. Let's go ahead and do our stock quote. And we can get ready to wrap this up, guys. So let's cut on my floating data box. Let's get the stock quote for Amazon. So Amazon opened today at $265. They had a high of $273.23, and they had a low of $262.01. And they closed today at $271.58, which was a trading range of $11.22. Guys, they traded 129 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We about to find out. So let's cut the floating data box off, take me off the screen, and let's go to our volume label. So the average trading volume for Amazon in the daily trading session, guys, is 47 million shares traded. Okay. And today they did 129 million. And remember, earnings were announced after the market closed yesterday. So that's expected to see that spike in volume. They even had high volume that day before the earnings were announced. They did more than double what they do on average on Thursday, trading 101 million shares that day. And then today they almost did 130 million. Okay, so now let's take that off the screen, put me back on the screen, and let's talk about the volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was higher than 98.8% of those trading days. To be exact, only 3 of those days had higher volume than today. So Amazon killing it. Okay, ooh, that was a crazy gap. And guess what, guys? We done. We done. So let's go here. Bam, take that down, hit that like. Man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. The channel is growing. This takes a lot of work, but it is so worth it. So our subscribers is going up. That's moving up. We almost at 100,000 views on the channel. The channel views is almost at 100,000. We creep into it. We should hit that goal next week. What was the other goal? And we should have 400 videos on the channel in probably like 2 weeks. So we reaching some big milestones. You guys have been an excellent part of it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every one of y'all. Every like, every peek, every view, every comment, every chat. It means the world to me. I appreciate you. So let's go ahead and wrap up the show. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, August 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's biggest gainers and losers, market sentiment, market volatility, S&P 500 sector performance, and creating a watch list for upcoming earnings. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.